Today's episode of Necronomipod is brought to you by Beardology. There are a lot of imitators out there, but there's only one place I buy my beard oil. Beardology beard oil nourishes your skin and won't leave you with that greasy feel. With over 17 cents available in their extensive product line, I trust my beard to Beardology. You can find Beardology at beardology.co. Use code NECRO15 to receive 15% off your purchase. Beardology. Discover the best way to avoid the shave. We all remember the Bronco chase, the media blitz, and something about, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Today we're going to take a look at O.J. Simpson and the trial of the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. We'll discuss how O.J. went from one of the most beloved athletes of the 1970s to one of the most polarizing figures of the 1990s. We'll look at his tumultuous relationship with Nicole Brown, her brutal murder, and the trial that left America at a standstill as viewers became enthralled with every moment of the case. Today, the juice is loose. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. Think you know the whole story behind the O.J. Simpson murder trial? Stick around. For an episode this fly, you must stand by. This is Necronomipod.
What is he doing there?
He just drove us again.
He just drove
me over.
Hey, wait a minute. What kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco, but first of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute. What's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Thank you.
Wait a minute. We're seeing the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
I'm going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way, or is he just harassing you?
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to get ready.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit.
Wait a minute. Wait, just stay on the line so we can know what's going on until the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole?
All right, who's the greatest football player of all time?
We already know what you're going to say.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm going to have to agree with you.
All right. So officially, Necronomipod believes Tom Brady's the greatest football player of all time by a 2-1 majority. All right. Just wanted to get that out there now. I know it's not going to be a huge football heavy episode.
Bernie Kosar's number 2. Jim Brown, then Bernie Kosar.
And then Eric Matthews. Then Tim Couch.
Tim Couch, legend.
Charlie Fry. Brady Quinn.
Jeff Garcia.
I
forgot about
Derek
him.
Anderson.
Ooh,
Took us to that 10-6 year in 2007. Anyone who does not know, we're now just listing all of the 900 Browns quarterbacks they've had since 1999. All right, so we got something a little different this week. We're not going the typical serial killer route. We're not doing a conspiracy theory or an alien or UFO story or a ghost story.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into a controversial individual.
Very controversial.
The trial of the 90s.
Yeah. Trial of the century, if you will.
Century. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this is the 25th anniversary of it this month, so figured it'd be a good time to...
Look at that.
Mix it up a little bit.
Look at us being timely.
And OJ just joined Twitter a couple weeks ago.
He's got some great videos on Twitter.
Talking about getting even with people.
That's
very poor choice of words.
Wow. So we better make sure we be careful today, too. We're going to be on that list. He's going to get even with us. So needless to say, if people can't read between the lines, we're trying to capitalize on some of the trendingness here and hoping we get some extra hits off this one. But it's also a really interesting story.
This one fascinates me just from the whole package deal with this, from what you can get away with as a celebrity to how it changed media forever, the news forever with the ratings stuff. And
for me, like kind of going back and reading some of these notes, like for you, like we were 8 or 9 years old when this was happening. I didn't pay that much attention to any of this. Right. I knew it was big. It was all over the place. Yeah. But I didn't know any of this information that we're about to go through today.
Didn't even really pay attention to who O.J. Simpson was. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a mega celebrity to me because I was too young to watch him play football. So
I watched this all live, so I have a different perspective.
Right. All right.
Because I was like 50 back then. So.
I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to go there anymore.
I remember the Bronco chase, though.
New shirt idea. New shirt idea. Dave is old. Back, Necronomicon. All right, let's dive into it.
Let's jump into the juice. Orenthal James Simpson was born July 9th, 1947 in San Francisco, California, to mother Eunice and father Jimmy Simpson. OJ grew up in the housing projects of the Potrero Hill neighborhood, and in his early teen years, he joined a gang called the Persian Warriors.
Were they all Iranians?
I don't know, that's a weird name.
Yeah, the Persian Warriors? Okay, carry on.
During this time, OJ was arrested multiple times, and after the third time he was arrested, he met Willie Mays, who encouraged him to stay out of trouble and focus on sports. And he said that changed his whole life as far as getting out of, not getting in trouble and shit like that. At 19, OJ married his high school sweetheart, Marguerite Whitley, which, have you guys seen a picture of Marguerite?
No.
I have not.
She is a very, very attractive woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very attractive woman.
All right. Good for OJ.
Yeah.
Like today, you mean, or back then?
Back then. I don't know what she looks like today, but she's a looker, man.
Nice.
They had 3 kids together, Arnell, Jason, and Aaron. In 1979, at 2 years old, Aaron accidentally drowned in the family swimming pool.
Oh. Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
OJ attended USC, where he played football as a running back and won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. He was the number 1 pick in the 1969 NFL draft by the Buffalo Bills. And he played with the Bills through from 1969 to 1977. And then he went to the San Francisco 49ers from 78 to 79.
I guess one of the things that was surprising to me was, maybe it's not, I don't know. It seemed like a short NFL career.
10 years?
Like 10 years? Is that?
For a running back?
I guess for a running back, that's a lot of mileage.
That's brutal on your knees.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a lot of other shit going for him, though.
Yeah, like he got into the movies and everything even while he was still playing football, like really early on.
Right, and business stuff.
Yeah, like he had endorsements right out of college before he even signed his football contract with the Bills.
Yeah.
So he was making bank.
Is he one of the first athletes to have that?
First black athletes.
I would think so. Yeah. I think Jim Brown probably had some stuff going on, but
Like right out of college, though?
yeah, I would think so.
Coming out of... See, he went to Syracuse, didn't he? Jim Brown? I believe it was Syracuse. He played lacrosse there, I think, too.
Was it Syracuse?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was like... OJ was like the Dwayne Johnson before there was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Just like a
that
celebrity
argument.
athlete across all walks of life.
Yeah, because, his list of TV shows and movies that he was in is super long. He was in all kind of shit.
Like he started his own production company and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just like The Rock.
He had a lot going on.
So in 73, he became the first NFL player to rush more than 2,000 yards in a season. And he's the only player to ever rush for 2,000 yards when the NFL had the 14 game seasons. Because now it's 16, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he still...
Well, if you're Tom Brady, it's like 19 or 20 because you win the Super Bowl every year.
Very
But
true.
anyways,
Well,
I digress.
If you deflate the football, sure, you can extend your season.
No evidence of that.
What was the other one? They were Spygate?
Yes, signal stealing.
Tom Brady did not spy. I believe there were coaches or scouts who were actually busted for that one, though.
Cheaters never win and winners never cheat.
Well, if they cheated, they win a lot. A lot.
OJ still holds the NFL record for single season yards per game with the average of 143.1.
That is fucking
amazing.
insane.
That's
That is insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot of yards.
I'm pretty sure there in the mid-2000s, the Browns didn't rush that in a season, let alone per game.
The offensive line was called the Electric Company, right? Back then?
Is that what it was? The electric company?
I think so.
And they were giving him all the juice.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is that how it...
Yeah. The Electric Company.
I thought I was being clever, but no. 30 years too late, 40 years too late on that joke.
By 1971, it was reported that OJ was already wealthy enough to, quote, retire this week if he wanted to. He
wild.
He was making bank. And then starting in 1975, he began a commercial deal with Hertz Rental Car Company. He was a part owner on the board for Honey Baked Ham, the PX Corporation, and the Napa Natural soft drink line. And then in 1975, People magazine said that OJ was, quote, the first black athlete to become a bona fide, lovable media superstar. So, I mean, yeah, he had, because he retired in 79. So, yeah, I mean, 75, he was on the board for Honey Baked Ham, and he's
doing everything right, setting up for post-football.
Love some honey baked ham.
Honey Baked Ham is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had honey baked ham.
Really?
Like the company Honey Baked Ham?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever have.
Angie gets them for Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
They line up cops outside of the place and they direct traffic because so many fucking people are trying to get there to pick up their ham.
Yeah. You got to pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Can't
so
just walk in there.
Are we recording here on Christmas Eve this year and we're going to come over and have some ham? People just hear us like eating ham like
Yeah, they have good shit, man. So, and like we were talking, that he did movies after he retired in 79. He focused mainly on the movies and TV and commentating in the NFL, which from what I was looking at, he sucked as a NFL commentator. He was real bad.
Was he like the color guy? I'm trying to remember. Did he do Monday Night Football or did he do Sunday games?
He did, believe it was Monday Night Football.
Well, I would imagine he's not doing play-by-play. I mean, that's usually they save that for like the
Yeah, he wouldn't do
broadcasters.
play-by-play. Yeah.
Usually when they bring in the athletes, they do like the color analysts.
Or is he like the third guy, like the Dennis Miller jackass that they bring in?
Even those are still, I think, considered color guys, though. No,
Yeah,
like they sprinkle like the salt and pepper on whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember who was talking about it.
How dare you make fun of Dennis Miller?
Oh, he's such a jack off.
Continue.
Yeah, I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were saying that he sucked, and then they were playing like some clips, examples, and it was bad.
That's not. I mean, that's something different. Like, that would be difficult to do. It's not for everyone.
No, of course not.
Was he doing Monday Night Football? Or
I believe it was Monday night. Yeah, but most notably, OJ had a part in the TV series Roots, and then he was one of the lead roles in the Naked Gun movie series.
Yeah.
So Roots was like. I remember OJ from as a kid in the trial and everything, but then I saw like when I got into high school and I got really into like history and I started watching like African American history is one of my favorite things to study, and I watched Roots, and that was when I like got re-exposed to OJ, just because I loved the whole Roots franchise, and he wasn't in it very much. It was a pretty quick role, wasn't he?
I can't even think of who he was.
He was Kunta Kinte's dad in the beginning when he's still in Africa before he gets kidnapped.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think OJ is only in like the first episode. It was like a 6-part series, I think, like 2 hours long each.
Yeah, it was all week. I remember watching it in the 70s.
Yeah, I bought the box set of it because I really enjoyed it. And I mean, it's terrifying, but it's very enlightening. Yeah. And but I think OJ's in like the first half hour of it and plays Kunta's dad.
We watched it in school. I think it was in 6th or 7th grade.
I was in high school when we watched it. Yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't watch it live on the air in the 70s like I did?
I was like 8 years from being born. I do remember that. Didn't that air like in the winter of like 78?
I think it was 78.
Well, but he would have still been playing though. I guess he could have been acting.
He was doing movies while he was in a Towering Inferno.
Because I remember my history teacher at the time had said that it was when that blizzard hit in Cleveland.
I remember the blizzard, yeah.
And everyone, it was snowed in. So it inflated the ratings for everything. For Roots, when it aired, that same year, that February, the Daytona 500 had their biggest ratings ever. It was the first, like, flag to flag. They aired the entire race on national television. And it got huge ratings. Again, people were snowed in. They had nothing else to do. So they were watching Roots. And it was, like, on 6 consecutive nights or whatever it was. So people were watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, that blizzard was something
Nothing
else.
like watching Roots and then watching NASCAR back to back.
Yeah. Love me some NASCAR.
Just a bit of a change.
Woohoo, he's getting gas. Yeah.
Yes, we get it.
Changing his tires. Woohoo.
Says the guy who took the afternoon off to watch a bunch of girls run around a grassy field.
Oh, great World Cup game today.
That's awesome. What was the final score?
2-1. Semifinals against England next week.
The Women's World Cup. We're talking. Oh, okay. You look like you didn't know what we were talking about.
I didn't know it was women's, but
very exciting.
Well, I said a bunch of girls. I wasn't just making fun of the guys.
That's true. So
not that would be making fun of. I'd be complimented to be called a girl. I didn't want to sound sexist there. That sounded sexist. Save me, please, Ian.
It's
Just
going to be
go.
a fucking 5-hour episode tonight.
Start talking, Ian.
So in 1983, OJ was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, and then in '85 he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I didn't know they had a College Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
During this time, OJ moved to the Brentwood neighborhood on Rockingham in LA, and the house that he had bought was $650,000 at the time, which now that house is valued at $4 million.
Surprised it's only $4 million. Like, that's a nice estate with the bungalows in the back.
I thought the same thing.
That's
that
a
seems
nice spot there.
relatively inexpensive.
For Brentwood, yeah.
At this time, Brentwood was a white neighborhood, and OJ almost exclusively associated with white people, and he got a lot of criticism from the African American community for not being involved in the obvious struggles and issues that they had in their community. A lot of people felt that OJ could be using that platform that he had to address issues of racism and civil rights issues.
But he didn't care, right?
I mean, no, he never said anything.
Yeah.
In that documentary, the OJ Made in America, one of the civil rights leaders was talking, and they said at this time they didn't even approach him about anything because he was doing his own thing and didn't give a shit. And he said, I think the exact thing was that OJ was a lost cause when it came to anything that had to do with the African American community.
It's harsh.
In 1977, OJ met Nicole Brown while she was working as a waitress at a nightclub called the Daisy.
Now, Nicole was me gusta.
Yeah, she's very
She's good
attractive
looking.
too.
I looked up Marguerite just a minute ago. It's all right.
You don't think she's
all right.
Oh,
now Dave's
check this out.
Dave's gonna like her.
It's right up my alley.
Dave's gonna like her. Nicole, I think Nicole is a more attractive individual, and OJ was a good-looking guy too.
Oh yeah, he's a good-looking guy. So Nicole was only 18 when they met, and they immediately started having an affair, which resulted in OJ divorcing Marguerite in 1979. And then Nicole and OJ dated for a long time. They didn't end up getting married until 1985, and they had 2 kids, Sydney and Justin.
That is a long time.
Yeah. She got pregnant with one of them. I can't remember which one, but it seemed like they got married just because she got pregnant with one of the kids, because one of the kids was born in 85.
Okay.
So he had 5 kids altogether, all boys.
No, Sydney was a girl.
Daughter.
Oh.
OJ had multiple affairs while he was married to Nicole and was said to basically rub it in her face. That
His penis? Oh, rub the affairs.
Wow. Damn.
He would rub the affairs in her face. He even blamed one of the affairs on the fact that Nicole got too fat while she was pregnant. And that
dick.
Yeah, that's a shitty ass fucking thing to
Get her knocked up and say, "Oh, now you're too fat. I'm gonna go fuck this other girl."
And their marriage was just plagued with domestic violence.
And this was something I didn't realize. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
About the story that he had allegedly been aggressive with her so many times.
A lot.
Yeah.
Which we're about to get into. So,
Were there any records of him beating his first wife?
There's talk of it. I didn't find anything that was like any actual like
Evidence.
police reports or anything like that.
he was also playing football then too. I wonder if that kind of was like a
Get the aggression
outlet
out.
for him. Not that it's an excuse, but
Sure.
maybe he didn't, he was in his mind, he was missing that outlet for his rage or his aggression. I don't know.
I know. I mean, he always had multiple affairs with both of them. Nicole just.
I'm just talking about the physical
Yeah,
aggression.
yeah. Nicole had a safety deposit box that OJ didn't know about, where she kept Polaroid photos of her face and detailed journal entries after every incident. And she had called the police on OJ multiple times throughout their marriage. And on one of the 911 calls, she's quoted as saying that the police had been there 8 times and had never done anything. OJ 100% received special treatment from the police regarding all this domestic violence stuff.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, they were basically going up there just to be like, oh, hey,
Right.
saw
You saw my
OJ
football?
Simpson. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they
Getting
didn't take
selfies with him.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't take any of
They
this
weren't taking
serious.
selfies in the 70s and 80s, guys.
Polaroids.
Polaroids, right.
Selfies.
I don't even know what that is. It was before my time.
A Polaroid?
I'm kidding.
The Polaroid pictures of her are rough too. I mean, she's
the
all
ones that she took and kept.
She's
Which
all,
good for her for keeping all that.
She's all beat up in those pictures. On January 1st, 1989, a 911 call was placed from the Rockingham house, and you can hear Nicole being beaten by OJ in the background. Police officer John Edwards was dispatched to the scene, and he was the only police officer over the course of their marriage that actually took this stuff seriously. And when John pulled up to the gate, he buzzed the intercom system, and he said that as he was pushing the button, Nicole ran up, soaking wet, cold, and was just wearing a bra and sweatpants. And so in her journal thing, she talked about like OJ was like dragging her around outside and shit. He said that she hugged him and started yelling that he's, quote, he's going to kill me. John Edwards noticed that her face had already started to swell up and had visible red marks from being hit. And at that time, OJ came up to the gate and started yelling that he wanted Nicole out of his house, that he had other women and didn't need her anymore. And so John, he told OJ that he was under arrest and to go into the house and get dressed because he said OJ came out wearing just like shorts, no shirt on, whatever. So he told him to go back in the house and get dressed. He was under arrest. And OJ went into the house to get dressed. Well, presumably the police officer thought he was just going in to get dressed. And out of the other driveway, because there's two driveways going into the house, OJ got in his Bentley and just took off, just drove away.
Wouldn't that be nice to have a house where you had two driveways?
Right?
Yeah, and a Bentley?
Yeah. Oh, honey, I didn't see you come in. Oh, no, I used the other driveway. Parked in our second garage.
But the police weren't able to catch up with him. Like, he got away that night. But when an officer tells you verbally, that's all they have to say is you're under arrest. That you're under arrest. You can't just take off.
I have other plans.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, it's not going to work for me. So I'm going to go back inside. And
I mean, and then if that was one of us, we would be completely fucked.
Well, and they wouldn't let us go get dressed by ourselves either.
No. I mean, good on this officer for actually taking this serious for once and saying you're under arrest, but no, we would not be getting dressed. We would be just arrested right there.
We'd be naked in the back of the cop car.
Yeah.
With a dirty blanket out of the back of the police car.
Yeah.
And 100%. Now you have an STD.
And I mean, there would be multiple felonies at that point too, if you ran away from the police. And
correct.
So to this, OJ pled no contest, and he just received a slap on the wrist. He was only required to complete 120 hours of community service, and for that community service, he organized a celebrity golf tournament.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Could you imagine?
Proceeds went to the local battered women's shelter?
No.
Of course not.
Well, and this all got all these things got brushed under the rug with this 89 thing, because Hertz rental car they were done with him for this.
So we started losing some.
Well, they were gonna be, and then Nicole called the owner of Hertz and was like, "Hey, it didn't happen like this." And
oh boy,
yeah, which
that's what happens. Though.
Yeah, it's just a shitty situation. So this police officer, John Edwards, saved a copy of the police report because he felt that the case would be mishandled, which it was, and also because he genuinely believed that Nicole wasn't lying, and he really thought that he would end up killing her. Like he believed what she was saying. Nicole, shit kept happening, and Nicole decided that she was going to leave OJ because of the abuse. And it was decided that Nicole would get her own place, and they would potentially try to work things out. But she just wanted her own space and whatever. And it was weird. She had a friend of theirs was a real estate agent, and they had to like really sell it to OJ like that she was allowed to leave. Like, it was really
like he wasn't okay with her being allowed to. Like he didn't think she was allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Jeez.
While they were separated, Nicole started a romantic relationship with a restaurant owner named Key Salama Switch.
This is my favorite name of the whole story. It sounds like a James Bond villain. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
And OJ obviously was not okay with this when he found out about it.
Oh, he wasn't?
Nicole opened up to Keith about the physical abuse and shared some of the journal entries with him that she had been keeping in the safety deposit box. And journals detailed her being beaten for hours while she was trying to crawl to the door to get out, and being locked in a closet for hours at a time, not being allowed out.
Man, that's brutal.
Really rough stuff. Yeah. It started to become evident to Nicole and Keith that OJ was stalking them. Like, he would show up at clubs they were at and restaurants and shit. There was one of the stories was that they went to a club. OJ showed up, so they're like, all right, let's just go back to, Nicole's like, let's go back to my house, whatever. And then they ended up having sex that night. And the next morning, OJ came over all pissed off, busted in, and was screaming at her and shit. And he was looking through the windows and saw them having sex.
Perv. Likes it. Likes watching. Wow. Take it, Nicole.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Also, close your fucking blinds, too. Like, that's just weird.
It's a valid point.
If it's nighttime at my house, all of my blinds are closed. Like, you're not going to be able to just look in.
Are there people on the deck standing there? Like, you would see them if you opened them?
Maybe, but guess what? I'm not opening them. So I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I can, yeah. You need to close, because in the story, too, that Keith guy says that they were banging in the living room, and that's how he was able to see him. So it's like, yeah, you got to close the windows, man.
Yeah.
I'd be scared, man. OJ?
That would be terrifying.
Fuck your shit up. You're banging OJ's wife.
I mean, but at the same time, like, you're not... Well... Nope. Go on.
Yeah, and that Keith guy, too, he said that on multiple times he would see OJ, like, come in, be fucking, like, furious, like, absolute rage. And then when you hear him screaming in the other room, and then come out and, like, he said, like, his face changed, just like all of a sudden he was OJ again, like... Real chill, charming, like just flip the switch.
It's wild.
Yeah. Nicole wasn't exclusively dating Keith. She was also seeing a guy named Marcus Allen, who was a young running back from USC who was drafted into the NFL by the Kansas City Chiefs. OJ and Marcus were very close, and kind of like OJ was like his mentor kind of thing.
Marcus Allen denies this. So.
Yeah, he denies this.
He denies that they ever dated?
Yes.
Yeah, he says that he didn't.
I remember Marcus Allen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said in the one in the legal in the civil suit, in the deposition, he says that he didn't, but OJ's agent and other people say that he did.
I was going to ask where it came from.
Yeah,
OJ's agent.
Yeah. So according to OJ's manager, when OJ found out about Marcus and Nicole, I mean, obviously he was furious about it. At that time, Nicole cut things off with Keith and Marcus and attempted to fix things with OJ. And she said it was for the sake of their kids. But she still kept her own house and wanted to take things slow.
A couple years later, Keith's like, woo!
Dodged a bullet on that.
Dodged a bullet.
On October 25th, 1993, the last 911 call was made by Nicole regarding OJ. In this call, she details that OJ broke down her back door, and she needed the police out there immediately. The 911 operator asks Nicole to stay on the line, to which Nicole says that she doesn't want to because, quote, he's going to beat the shit out of me. And then OJ can be heard in the background screaming about shit that Nicole did with Keith, like sexual stuff that Nicole did with that Keith guy.
Like what?
Oh, you've never...
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I've listened to this before. Like, what was he saying? It's hard to hear in the background, isn't it?
It's like along the lines of you didn't care about the kids when you were sucking Keith's dick, and and he's talking about himself in the third person. He's like, OJ worked so hard for all this shit.
So he was The Rock before The Rock was The Rock.
Oh yeah, he's talking in third person throughout that whole thing, screaming, like saying OJ did this, worked for this family, and yeah.
So Nicole and this dude didn't do anything fun. Like, I was hoping like he'd be yelling about like a flying squirrel or something like that, and it was not happening here.
Who?
No. With OJ yelling in the background. Like you were saying that you're just yelling about sucking dick.
What's a flying squirrel?
Flying squirrel? So it's not actually that sexual at all. It's when you knock on someone's door, and so then you're naked and you do a handstand in their door frame so that when they open the door, it's just your cock and balls upside down in their face. You never heard of that? A flying squirrel?
I've not heard of a flying squirrel.
I thought you were talking about a legitimate flying squirrel. I'm like, where the hell did that come?
No. It's we
Have you ever done this?
I have not, but I've seen them done many a time back in college. is hilarious. Yeah, you get in someone's door frame and you go do a handstand facing the door and you knock, and then when they answer the door, boom, they just got like a hanging dick and balls right in your face. It's the flying squirrel.
All right.
Just got to watch because you're right at punch level too. So just be prepared.
That's true.
This Halloween, let's go flying squirrel some motherfuckers.
The police did nothing about this incident, and Nicole decided that this was it. And on top of the police doing nothing, the 911 operator is absurd in this call too. She's like almost starstruck about, oh, you mean the sportscaster? Like just really unprofessional. Like just throws professionalism right out the window, and it's ridiculous.
You would think in LA you're used to stuff like that, Yeah.
Yeah.
But she decided she was 100% done with him. And with the divorce being final, OJ's manager believes that Nicole started seeing Marcus Allen again. He says that OJ threatened that if he found out she was dating Marcus again, he would kill her. So that's from OJ's manager. And that guy has come out about stuff that makes him look like a piece of shit. So
the manager?
Regarding this whole thing. So I don't see any reason why he would lie about it. So on June 13th, 1994 at 12:10 a.m., the bodies of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman were discovered murdered outside Nicole's Bundy Drive condo.
So this is like 9 months after that last 911 call then.
Yeah.
Right. That was October 93.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at June 94.
Right. And according to his manager and some other friends, and I can't remember the names of people, but mainly his manager, that she was dating Marcus Allen throughout this time.
So it was just building up inside of him, this rage for
a
while.
Sukaru Bostepi was walking his dog with his wife when they came across Nicole's Akita barking toward the walkway of her condo, and they noticed that the dog's paws were covered in blood. So they, walked up to look further, and Sukaru saw Nicole and Ron's bodies. When police arrived, they immediately noticed just how vicious of a crime it was. And you guys saw we were talking about before we started recording, the crime scene pictures.
No, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're really bad.
I will not put out some of those at all. We'll post a few of them, but not some of those bad ones.
Both Nicole and Ron had been stabbed multiple times in the scene. I mean, it was absolutely just covered in blood. Like, it looks like something from a horror movie, how much blood is involved.
Yeah.
Nicole had blunt force trauma to the left side of her head, 4 stab wounds to the left side of her neck, which the coroner's or the autopsy report says that those would have been fatal, the first 4 that she got.
Wow.
So, but it would have taken some time for her to bleed to death from them, but those would have been fatal. Then she had 3 stab wounds to the top of her head and multiple defensive wounds on her hands. And then her throat after those injuries, then her throat had been slit so deep that she was basically decapitated.
Just fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Kind of shows you what a professional athlete is able to do with a knife.
Allegedly.
Not
allegedly.
Guilty.
All right,
not guilty.
So then Ron had 4 stab wounds to his neck, 10 stab wounds on his face and / the back of his neck, and then under his earlobes. And then he had 3 stab wounds to his head, 6 stab wounds to his chest and abdomen, and multiple defensive wounds to his hands. And the police estimated that they had been dead for about 2 hours. Officer Robert Risk was one of 2 officers to first show up and found the single left-hand glove covered in blood.
What a hell of a scene to walk up to. Or to be that guy walking his dog and sees Nicole's dog covered in blood.
Right.
And then you go explore and you find that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I didn't put it in the outline either, but Ron Goldman was a black belt in karate, and he's 20 years younger than OJ, so it was described as a hell of a fight that was going on here, because not all of the wounds were like full in stabs. Some of them were slashing. Well, so whoever was fighting with him was stabbing and slashing.
And that was part of the defense, right? That OJ was older, this guy was young, he would have defended himself better.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. How old was OJ at this time? He was born, this was 94, right? And he was born in 47. What's the math on that?
47.
Okay.
47.
So if it were him and he was a hell of an athlete, he'd still be in pretty good shape. But then again, as a running back too, you're getting broken down and beat up pretty good as well.
Yeah, and in a little bit here we'll get into like the theory of how this.
So we talk about the photos. Do you think they should have released those photos? Like, do you think crime scene photos like that should be released to the public?
I mean, I don't really have any problem.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Like if
that was my family, I don't
need to be released.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an issue with it.
What's crazy is of all the stuff we've discussed this entire show, I've never really been turned off by anything I've ever seen until I saw these.
Yeah.
And maybe because it's more modern day and everything else we've kind of discussed with like serial killers have been more earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
These ones were just like I felt guilty looking at these photos. And if you want to see them, you can just Google them. I'll post a few, but we're not going to post the graphic, the real bad ones. But they're all out there, and I don't know. I don't like looking at them.
I don't. It's not necessary to release those.
I don't know how you like if you're the family member, just knowing those are out there and seeing that.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
And I mean, that's the thing about this case is it's got all this celebrity around it, and then we'll get later, bring up Jay Leno's stupid shit. Like, there's a lot of stupidity involved in this thing, but
just mocking the trial, and everything.
But the brutalness of the two murders is
terrible.
Is
it's
outrageous.
Lost.
Yeah. I mean, it's
is it the dancing Itos? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
But I mean, I've looked at Dahmer's Polaroids that are out there, the few that have leaked out and different things, but. Yeah, these are bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Like, this is like going
when you see a lot of those photos and they look old, like the photos, because the
They're
technology wasn't there. And these photos look like photos from the 90s.
Yeah.
We all have photos of ourselves in the 90s. Yeah. And so it's just, it's relatable and it just hits home and it's like, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Just a brutal crime. So when it was realized that Nicole was the ex-wife of OJ, it was suggested that Mark Furman, along with 3 other officers, go to notify OJ, since Mark knew where OJ lived because he had been to his house for some of those domestic violence calls. So no one was answering the intercom at the gate at OJ's house at the Rockingham house. So Mark Furman walked to the other gate where the other driveway was and saw a white Ford Bronco parked nearby. The driver's side door of the car had blood on it. That gave them enough probable cause to check on the welfare of OJ because they're thinking, okay, his ex-wife has just almost had her head cut off and now
there's blood on his car. Yeah.
So Furman jumped the gate to let the other officers in and they knocked on the front door, got no response. So they walked around to the back to a section of bungalows and knocked on the first one, which was Cato Kalin's. Cato Kalin was a live-in friend of Nicole and OJ who lived there rent-free, and he was more of a friend of Nicole than OJ.
Yeah?
But he just still lived there, which he's the goofiest fucking person.
I just watched that FX series, and the guy that played Cato Kalin was just ridiculous. It was like someone in Bill and Ted. So it's like, totally awesome.
That's pretty much what
Cato... terrible.
But that's what he's like, right?
Like, whoa, dude. Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that already? There's a new Bill and Ted coming out.
We talked about that. New Bill and Ted.
Didn't we talk about that like a week ago or something? Because we were on our Keanu Reeves kick.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
those movies are great.
Cato Kalin he's like just this ditzy fucking LA kind of guy. It's what he,
just living in the bungalow, free in
just
Brentwood. Sounds pretty sweet.
Pretty good.
So they told Cato why they were there, and Cato told him that OJ had flown out to Chicago and he wasn't home. Cato then told Mark Furman that before OJ left, he heard 3 large bangs from outside his bungalow, or from the back of his bungalow, that made the pictures on his wall shake. Did you see pictures from inside his bungalow too? I mean, it's a pretty fucking sweet place to be living for free. Yeah. So Mark Furman went out to the back of the bungalow where Cato said he heard the bangs and found a right-hand glove that was covered in blood and matched the left-hand one from the crime scene.
That's really sloppy.
Yeah. So now,
Whoever left it there, I mean.
yeah,
Or did Mark just take it from the crime scene and put it there?
Yeah, that's possible.
well,
Not really.
It is possible.
No, it's not.
It is very much possible.
when police got a hold of OJ in Chicago to notify him of Nicole's death, they were immediately, I mean, obviously they have the glove, which is a huge red flag, but they were very suspicious by the fact that he didn't ask them how she died, which that's a
It
huge,
is strange.
very strange.
People act weird, I guess,
But
in
you don't
traumatic
know,
situations,
yeah.
but still, that's still your first question.
But you don't necessarily ask it. You don't necessarily say how.
I don't know.
very
I think
suspicious.
you do. It's very suspicious.
I don't know. I don't know how I would react in a situation like that to know if that's what... I mean, I'm sure I would be thinking it, but I don't know if I would ask that immediately.
Like if a cop called to tell you someone died, you wouldn't ask them how they died?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because how it's,
I mean, someone that close to you so unexpectedly, I don't know.
I guess.
Maybe you
I
go
get
in
it.
shock.
I
Maybe
get
you go in
it.
shock.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just
Right,
saying
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if-
people act strange when they're in traumatic situations.
I
like
just
that.
think it's
I get
weird.
it.
I wouldn't base a whole argument on that.
Yeah.
On
It's
that.
just one piece
it's,
of the puzzle.
it's just a red flag.
Yeah. We'll call it a pink flag. I don't want to call it a complete red.
Oh, it's a red flag, buddy.
With the evidence the police had at that point, it was enough to get a search warrant to search OJ's house, and that's the first time the prosecutor Marcia Clark comes into the picture with the stories, because she's the one that they called, and she's like, all right, go ahead. There's more than enough evidence at this point, which made him the main suspect. When OJ got back from Chicago on that Monday, he voluntarily went in for an interview with the police without a lawyer, which is fucking crazy.
Don't ever do that, kids. Don't ever speak to the police without your attorney.
No.
Ever. No matter what it is.
And I think that shows, too, that
Well, I mean, if you're pulled over for speeding, it's
Well-
probably okay to talk to the police.
Yes. If you're ever picked up by the police, don't ever talk to them without your attorney there.
completely accurate.
Ever.
Whether you did something or not, you
Yeah.
should always have an attorney there. I agree.
100%.
But I think that with him going without the lawyer, I think it goes to how buddy he was with the police.
Yeah, he's like, they're not going to tag
Yeah.
me. I'll just...
I mean, he was always
Well,
playing.
he had allegedly gotten away with all those beatings
Yeah.
earlier, and I'm sure he was on a first name basis with a lot of those cops. So yeah,
And I mean,
you're
he
feeling
was,
a little bit invincible.
yeah. I mean, and he was friends with them. He played golf with the cops, had him over his place and stuff. And I I'll bring it up later on during the trial thing. But there's a guy named Ron Shipp that was a police officer that was really good friends with him that flipped on him during the trial and testified against him. But yeah, I mean, he was
Also, if you didn't do it, why not go in for the questioning if you have nothing to hide? Just saying.
yeah, but you always have to have a lawyer. It's weird.
I understand, but he might have just thought, oh, I know I didn't do this. I'm going to go in and talk. Not the
Yeah.
wisest move in general, but
Right.
Sure.
Well, during this interview, they noticed that OJ had a cut on his left middle finger that he said he got from breaking a glass in Chicago. The detectives questioning him, they failed to pin him down on an actual timeline of like what he was up to, and they just let him ramble the whole time, and it essentially made the interview worthless to prosecutors. OJ let them take a sample of his blood and a picture of the cut on his fingers, and then they just let him go. Marcia Clark was furious that they just let him go.
Right.
I mean, if that would have been any of us again,
We'd have been on a 72-hour hold.
we would not have left
No.
there if you're a suspect in a murder.
Not a chance.
Just walk out of there. So he went home, and I'll talk about Ron Shipp real quick. So Ron Shipp was the police officer that helped, that was good friends with him,
Right.
and was at OJ's house when he got home from this. And so he said OJ was watching the TV and just real pissed off, like watching all the news, talking about him being a suspect and whatever. So Ron, this is according to him, he goes, how'd you get the cut on your hand? And he said, I got it on a glass in Chicago. And they said a little bit later, he heard OJ say, I got it while I was chipping golf balls. And then I can't remember the third thing he said, but he had a different thing for everybody who asked him how he got the cut on the glove. And that's when Ron Shipp was like, I'm out. I know it already. I'm out. And he left.
It's weird that you can't keep one story straight for a cut on your finger.
Yeah.
Sloppy.
Well, if you're nervous too, like, I mean,
Yeah.
now I'm saying if you did do it, you're nervous, you're coming up with whatever you can say to get out of it.
Yeah. As prosecutors prepared to charge OJ with the murders, they came up with this is the outline that they came up with in their theory based on the forensic evidence. So on June 12th, 1994 at 5 p.m., OJ, Nicole, and other family members attended their daughter's dance recital, and Nicole told OJ that he wasn't welcome to sit with her and the rest of the family. So me off the wall, probably pissing him off.
100%.
Yeah. 6:30 p.m. Nicole and family went to the Mezzaluna restaurant to eat in Brentwood, and again OJ was told that he wasn't welcome to come. 9:36 p.m. OJ and Cato Kalin returned to OJ's Rockingham house after taking a trip to McDonald's. Cato paid for the food and OJ ate his on the way home. And once they got back to OJ's house, Cato went to his bungalow, OJ went to the house.
Is the fact that Cato paid for it relevant because Cato never paid for anything?
You know,
Also, why do we care that OJ ate it on the way home?
it's just part of the story. I mean, they're just laying down the evidence here.
I guess so.
And it was a Big Mac. He ate a Big Mac on the way home.
I could go for
Dave
Big
eats
Mac
Big
right
Macs.
about now.
We should probably watch
great.
ourselves. A normal person would get a quarter pounder with cheese because it is clearly the superior sandwich.
I don't know, man. Big Macs are good.
It's all bread.
That's an
it's
outrageous
all bread.
statement.
It's
It
all
is an
bread
outrageous
with
statement.
single small patties. A quarter pounder with cheese. Actually, I get the double no onion. Is 2 quarter-pound slabs of beef with very little, just 2 slices of bread.
They have
You know what
special sauce?
No. Nobody wants the special
End of
sauce.
story, motherfucker.
No.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you just
yeah.
want to dip bread in the special sauce. That's what a Big Mac is.
Yes.
Just too much bun.
100%.
Too much bun, not enough beef.
They're good, man.
They're very good.
Yeah.
But they're not quarter pounders with cheese.
A Royale with cheese?
Isn't that the Canadian version?
Pulp Fiction. You know what they call a
Oh, that's
quarter pounder
right.
cheese in France? Royale with cheese.
I feel like they still sell those. I don't know. Either way, I'm putting up a poll this week. Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese. We'll see what happens.
Big Macs will handily win.
Well, if you just like eating bread, sure.
So then we go to 9:37 p.m. Nicole's mother can't find her glasses and calls the Mezzaluna looking for them. 10 p.m. Ron Goldman, who is their waiter, takes an envelope containing Judy Brown's glasses to Nicole's house.
Man, these little details that cost you your life, right? If she wouldn't have
Forgot the glasses.
forgot the glasses.
Yeah.
You think you've ever made a decision that saved your life? Like if you would have made the other decision, you would have gotten killed?
I don't know.
Little weird details like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you asking if I ever made
Anybody,
a decision?
yeah.
There's that car wreck that I was in high school
Yeah?
that landed
Yeah.
me in intensive care and in a wheelchair for a long time. And it was just because I picked a different car to ride in.
Yeah.
I had 2 options
See?
with friends to get in the
Right.
car, and I got in the other one, and yeah.
Ron could have said, yeah, I don't want to drop those fucking glasses off. She can come pick them up
Just
tomorrow.
think about that. And if that would have been it for you, Necronomipod would not exist. What would our listeners be doing right now?
What would
if
we be
didn't
doing
exist?
right now?
Dave, you and I probably be drinking alcohol talking about some bullshit. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade.
10:15 p.m., neighbors reported hearing Nicole's dog barking. 11:15 p.m., OJ was picked up at his Rockingham house by limo and driven to the LAX airport. And the limo driver reports that OJ was late, that he was standing out there for a while waiting for OJ. 11:45 p.m., OJ's plane takes off for Chicago.
Is it not unreasonable to think that after you just downed a Big Mac and fries, you might be taking a shit, and that's why he was late?
He has no alibi for...
What, for taking a shit?
Well, no, he doesn't have an alibi from 9:36 until 11:15.
He's in his house packing.
But the Bronco wasn't there. They noticed the car wasn't there, right?
Right.
Well, was it his Bronco, though, or was it Cato's?
No, it's his. I don't even know if
his.
Cato had a fucking car.
He doesn't have a car.
This has become a smear campaign against Cato, and I will not stand for that.
Well, no.
Who reported? The limo driver. He said when he got there, the Bronco wasn't there, but when they pulled away, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll get into in a little bit some evidence about the Bronco that wasn't allowed to be put in or wasn't allowed to be shown at trial.
So from the time they got back from McDonald's to the time the limo driver picked up OJ, that's when they're saying the murders occurred.
Right.
Allegedly.
Because
That's what prosecutors would say.
Right, because the bodies were found at 12:10.
They said they've been dead
Who
about
the
2
fuck's
hours.
walking their dog at 12:10 at night?
I guess living in a baller neighborhood. And
It's true.
It's L.A., man. It's different.
That's true, because they don't go to work till like, what, 10, 11?
so, like we were saying, OJ didn't have an alibi for that window of time. Other than that, he was just waiting at home for the limo. So, based on the forensics in the coroner's report, prosecution believes that the murders went down like this. OJ was furious that he wasn't allowed to sit with Nicole at the dance recital or was invited to dinner with the rest of the family. After getting home from McDonald's with Kato Kalin, he tried to call his girlfriend he was dating at the time named Paula. She didn't answer due to issues that they were having with each other. So he was completely shut down by both Nicole and Paula and just decided that was it. Like, fuck this. You know, all control is lost at this point with women, you know. So
maybe just get a hooker and fucking relax. I don't understand this.
Or order the double quarter pounder with cheese and you'd be sleeping like a baby by now.
So OJ went to Nicole's house and confronted her in the walkway. He hit her on the left side of her head with either his hand or the butt of the knife, knocking her to the ground, and then stabbed her 4 times in the left side of the neck as she tried to fight him off, producing the defensive wounds on her hands. Those 4 stabs those were fatal stabs. Those would have killed her eventually. Yeah. She would have bled to death. OJ hears Ron Goldman approaching the house and hides. Ron sees Nicole on the ground bleeding and bends down to check on her. OJ comes up on Ron from behind with a knife and holds it to his throat. And they think that OJ taunts taunts Ron with the knife, cutting him 5 times on the side of his face, presumably thinking that Ron was in a romantic relationship with Nicole. And they said that those 5 were like pokes, like taunting gesture, like poking at him, like talking shit to him. OJ cuts Ron with 2 quick slashing motions across his neck, but not enough to kill him. So Ron fights back, like we were saying earlier. He's a black belt. Grabbed OJ by his left arm to get free and turn around, resulting in the left-handed glove being pulled off of OJ. Then Ron is backed into the walkway with fencing to his back and to the left, and then a tree to the right, and OJ in front of him. So he's basically just completely boxed in with OJ, you know, or the perpetrator, whatever, slashing at him and stabbing at him.
Well, but again, you're reading the prosecution story.
Right,
so
yeah.
I was going to clarify that at the end anyways. I mean, this is their story of what happened.
Right. So Ron suffered multiple stab wounds, but ultimately gets stabbed in the left side of his abdomen, severing his abdominal artery, causing him to fall and bleed to death within they said it would take about 1 minute to 2 minutes that you would just fill up with blood and bleed out from that. You can see that in the crime scene photos too. His left leg is just completely soaked in blood. OJ then goes back to Nicole, picks her head up by the back of her hair and slits her throat, severing everything in her neck and causing almost inch deep cut into one of her vertebrae.
At this point, she's up dead. Or
pretty close to
dead.
it, yeah.
And now he's just going back to just be the alleged perpetrator of the crime was going back to be just
This was
evil.
like I show you.
It indicates rage and a personal, you know, it's not someone just walking by and robbing somebody. It just doesn't work like that.
This is like a I'll show you type thing.
Yep.
So OJ goes back to Ron, grabs him by the right side of his shirt, which you can see in the crime scene photos too. His shirt's pulled up on the right side, transferring 25 hairs from his hand because he grabbed Nicole by the back of her head and transferred those 25 hairs to Ron's shirt, and then stabbed him 4 times deep into the side of his neck. And that's another I'll show you type thing, which you would assume he thought that they were dating because Ron was dead already at this point. It took him 2 minutes to bleed out, they said. So he goes back to him and stabs him 4 times in the side of the neck. It's just absolute like blind rage. You just snapped.
Exactly. I don't know if we talked about this later or before or whatever, but so OJ filmed like a pilot show called Frogmen with the Navy SEALs, where he received kind of, Navy SEAL type training and weaponry and stuff. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I knew
just like a month before this happened.
I knew about Frog. I didn't know that he received training.
Yeah.
Before this happened,
Yeah,
he did all that.
like the show never aired because obviously after this,
Right. The
they
Navy's
bagged it. But
no, thank you.
yeah, it was called Frogman and OJ training with the Navy SEALs.
Huh.
It's interesting.
That's the general theory that the
Prosecution timeline
has.
of what happened.
And it makes sense.
Forensics wise, it does, and in the timeline of according to the Times isn't even really a theory. I mean, that's generally what the rundown was, and he has no alibi for that time frame. So OJ hired high-profile lawyer Robert Shapiro, who was generally just a celebrity fixer lawyer. He didn't really have any trial experience.
They said he liked to cut deals.
Right, yeah.
Plea bargain guy.
Yeah. Robert Shapiro brought in F. Lee Bailey, who was the top of the top criminal defense lawyer.
He defended Sam Shepard in Cleveland. It was one of his famous cases.
He did the Boston Strangler,
Boston
too.
Strangler.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's a big-time lawyer. And then they brought in Robert Kardashian, which was a longtime best friend of OJ.
And father of future porn star and Ray J fucktoy Kim Kardashian.
That's a very true statement.
It's not
For
wrong.
as many times as we will use the term allegedly tonight, that is not allegedly.
No.
It is a very factual statement.
Yeah, he was a lawyer, but he
Not a practicing. Like they had to admit him to the bar, I think, even to do this, right?
yeah, he had
Wasn't
to
practicing.
he had to renew his license to
He came out of
do this.
retirement for this.
yeah.
It was his swan song.
He had that interesting like skunk like gray hair streak up the
Yeah.
front.
I don't even know. I don't think I could ever point out what he looked like.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I wondered about that. Like, was that intentional or was that like a for real? Because that streak was a little. It's
weird.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like just right up the front of his hair there.
Are you trying to imply that a Kardashian did something not natural to their body? How dare you, sir?
So on June 17th, 1994, OJ was to be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with no bail. A deal was worked out between the prosecution and Robert Shapiro that OJ would turn himself in by 11 a.m. to avoid a, quote, media circus. And because they believed that OJ was potentially suicidal, best friend Al A.C. Cowlings was staying with OJ until it was time for him to turn himself in. At some point, OJ convinced AC to drive him in an attempt to flee. More than 1,000 reporters had gathered to see OJ turn himself in, and when he didn't show up at 1:50 p.m., the LAPD's chief spokesman publicly declared that OJ was a fugitive and issued an arrest warrant for AC.
And they were pissed.
Fuck yeah, they were mad.
Dave, because I actually find this part from like up until like through the chase the most interesting part of the story. Mm-hmm. Do you remember watching this live then? Like, were you following this that day or not so much?
I really can't remember. Like, I remember watching it, but I don't remember if I watched it live or on the news later.
Yeah, like the part about him no showing for the warrant.
Yeah,
you probably watched the chase live.
I
mean, we're also 3 hours ahead of them, so
yeah.
They're saying 1:50 or it's already 4:50. You might be coming home from work.
I can't place that in my memories whether I watched it live or on the news later.
Okay.
But the press conference, man, they were
hot.
They were not thrilled.
It made them look like idiots.
Yeah. At 5 p.m., Robert Kardashian read a letter to the media that was written by OJ. And in the letter, OJ stated he had nothing to do with Nicole and Ron's murders, and he asked the media to leave his kids alone, which, with all this media shit, they actually did leave his kids alone, which was surprising for...
Mm-hmm.
Well, how old were his kids at this time?
But I mean, they've even left his kids alone up until today. They've never really bothered his kids.
As they should. Good.
Yeah.
But the tone of the letter, it really sounded like a suicide note. And then Robert Shapiro got on TV and urged OJ to just peacefully turn himself in.
In the FX series, Kardashian goes into the room, goes back to the house with all of OJ's family. He goes and tells him that they have reason to believe he's killed himself. Like, I don't know if that's real or not, but it was wild.
That series is based off that book, The Run for His Life, and it's
seems pretty accurate.
Who wrote that?
Jeffrey Toobin.
Yeah.
He was just a reporter or He wasn't
I
like
don't
inside
know.
knowledge necessarily.
He was a law student of
Dershowitz?
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's actually the reporter at the time that found, and what we'll get into later, some of the racist stuff that Mark Furman initially
who was the
said
police officer that
found
the glove.
Yeah.
Okay.
So news helicopters were out searching for OJ on the LA highway system, and around 6:20 p.m., someone driving spotted AC driving the white Bronco with OJ in the back and called the California Highway Patrol.
And so, Dave, this is you don't remember if you watch this live?
I really don't. No. Like, I remember the trial and stuff, but I don't remember watching this live. I think I watched it just on the news. I don't remember. But they were all live footage, man. Every fucking network was covering it.
So police officer Ruth Dixon saw the Bronco heading north on I-405. When she caught up to AC, he yelled out the window to back off that OJ had a gun to his head because they were only driving like 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, it was real
Slow speed chase.
So Bob Turr of KCBS TV was the first to find OJ from a news helicopter, and then 9 other helicopters joined in and were following the chase.
There's a fucking traffic jam up in the sky with those helicopters.
Yeah, if that was us, they would have had tack strips out and they would have lit that fucking Bronco up with machine guns.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what in OJ in Made in America documentary, Bob Turr's on there talking about it, and because he said that, I mean, he made a career out of doing that, following the high speed chases, and he said any other person would have been taken out and got the fuck beat out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Detective Tom Lang, who had interviewed OJ about the murders on June 13th, realized that he had OJ's cell phone number and just started repeatedly calling him. So he finally got a hold of him and pleaded with OJ to throw the gun out of the window for the sake of his mother and his children. OJ apologized for not turning himself earlier in that day and responded that he was, quote, the only one who deserved to get hurt, and was going to, quote, just go be with Nicole.
It sounds like an innocent guy.
Yeah, right. He asked Lang to, quote, just let me get to the house, and said, quote, I need the gun for me.
So it sounds like he's going to go to his house and kill himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you would gather from
initially
all that.
initially he said he wanted to go to Nicole's grave, and then it switched to
she already buried at this point?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Well, they in the FX series they showed him stopping at the gravesite.
Yeah, and because they were shocked that he showed up to her funeral or her wake. The family was shocked that he actually showed up to it. But it started off with that, and then he started to say he wanted to just go home and call his mom. They wanted to talk to his mom. ABC, NBC, CBS, and CNN, because at the time CNN was the only cable news network, and all the local news outlets interrupted their broadcast to show the chase. It was watched by 95 million people, and to put it in comparison, 90 million watched the Super Bowl the year before.
Yeah,
so
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's a fuck ton of people.
And Dave was not one of them, apparently.
I can't place it as, and like there's certain things you remember
No,
where
I
you
understand.
were when it happened.
You very well could have watched it. You just don't remember.
I just don't remember. I don't know. I might have
Honestly,
had something more important going on.
It sounds like you didn't have much of a choice. Every fucking station was showing it.
Yeah. Well, that's NBC started to see that the ratings of the other channels, so they decided to cut in on the New York Knicks and Houston Rockets and Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the Houston Rockets to show that.
I bet people love that in
the middle of an NBA Finals game too. That's crazy.
Yeah, they said people at like bars and everything, they just all of a sudden the bars were packed for that and shit, and they just turned it off for the chase. Domino's Pizza also later reported that they had all-time pizza sales during the chase that beat out the previous Super Bowl sales.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because Domino's is the most disgusting pizza on the planet. Is that why it's crazy?
Well, they apparently rebranded a few years ago and changed their whole process for making the pizzas and everything.
I think Domino's was actually good back then, but now they're terrible.
Well, but again, in recent years, they allegedly changed and got better. I don't know.
Their pizza is awful.
I cannot tell you the last time I had Domino's pizza.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we even have them in town?
Yes, it's terrible.
Where are they at?
They are...
Leave this all in. People can figure it out.
Next to Dunkin' Donuts. The same building there.
Oh, yeah.
It's It's terrible.
You almost make me want to try it though again to see.
It's not good.
Maybe next time we record, I'm gonna get us Domino's pizza.
Do it.
And we're gonna eat it on air and record it. And we're gonna talk the story and eat the pizza. All right. Someone remind me of that.
All right.
Someone tweet us or Instagram us and remind Mike that I need to pick up a Domino's pizza. One large pepperoni, and we'll eat it, and we'll talk on air about whatever next week topic is gonna be.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Maybe I'll get an East of Chicago backup pizza so there's something edible to eat.
Because it was going so slow, thousands of people started to gather on the overpasses on the highway with signs and stuff that said like "Go OJ" and "Free OJ" and shit.
Free orange juice? I'm in. Pulp or no pulp? This is the last sidebar for 5 minutes. Pulp or no pulp? I hate pulp. It's disgusting.
I don't mind it.
You should not have to chew your juice.
I like heavy pulp. Sorry.
Do you?
Yes. And a heavy dose of champagne.
You've already lost your. So now I think Domino's might be pretty awesome. You just don't like chunks of pulp floating in your pizza. That's what it
Lots
sounds
of pulp, lots of champagne. I'm good to go.
I mean, I don't mind it either way. It doesn't matter to me either way. But we always
This guy just wants mimosas, apparently,
Yeah.
with chunks of orange pulp in it. Fucking awful.
OJ reportedly demanded that he wanted that he be allowed to speak to his mother before he would surrender. The chase ended at 8 p.m. at Rockingham, where his son Jason ran out of the house and was pleading with his dad to just come out of the car.
How old was Jason at this point?
Teen years.
Okay.
I think he was older than that.
Was he? I mean, he was.
Didn't he marry Marguerite in 1971 and they had the kids?
Yeah. Yeah, he's from the first marriage.
Yeah.
So he's almost 30 then, roughly. Well, no, because that would have
maybe
been
not.
this would have
Maybe
been
you're
about
right.
sort of
I'm
about
sorry.
23 years later.
Yeah.
24
I mean, they represented
years.
him as
So
older
maybe not.
in the movie, I guess is what I was thinking. But yeah, you might be right.
While he was trying to talk to his dad into getting out of the car, there was 27 SWAT team members positioned around waiting. After staying in the Bronco for about 45 minutes, OJ got out at 8:50 p.m. with framed photos of his family and went inside for about an hour. A police spokesman stated that he talked to his mom and drank a glass of orange juice while he talked to
How
her.
ridiculous.
Well, the guy can't just have orange juice.
It's just
He's got to forever be shunned from drinking orange juice because of his initials.
Robert Shapiro showed up and OJ surrendered a few minutes later. Inside the Bronco, they found $8,000 in cash, a change of clothing, a loaded .357 Magnum, a passport, family pictures, and a fake goatee and mustache.
Again, if it's us, the sniper, puts a hole in our head.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't be sitting there for 45 minutes
No.
with a loaded gun.
No.
At this time, it was like damage control for the LAPD, too. They didn't want to do anything with the world watching with this because Rodney King had just happened.
That's true. That's a good point.
And, wow, what's the other girl's name? Latasha. Can't remember her last name.
Who's that?
The African-American teenage girl that got into an argument with a Korean store owner about
Latasha Harlins?
Yeah, Latasha Harlins, and the Korean woman shot her for no good reason. But then the issue was that the judge only gave the store owner 5 years probation.
Okay.
And so between that and Rodney King, the African American community was it was a pretty like reaching a boiling point.
Yeah.
Out there.
Understandably.
Yeah. OJ was booked at the Parker Center and taken to the Men's Central Jail. AC was booked on suspicion of harboring a fugitive and was held on $250,000 bail.
I was reading that story about that girl,
yeah.
that 15-year-old. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
She shot her in the back of the head because she thought she stole a $2 bottle of orange juice. The girl, when they found her body, had the money in her hand that she was going to pay.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
There's videos of that, of people storming the court.
And the lady served you probably said that, and served no jail time. The
She
Korean
got
lady.
5 years probation.
Look, so when people share that OJ got off, I mean, it's not out of nowhere. It's,
Right. It was
in context
they were looking
of all
for
of this.
they were looking for a win.
Yeah.
And they got a win.
Yeah,
And it really does. I mean, it makes you think a little bit different. At least it makes me think a little bit differently about it. Like, he was guilty as shit. But to their community, like, they had been fucked over so many times.
Yeah.
Now we know what it's like to be fucked over. You got a beautiful white woman brutally murdered, and nothing's going to happen about it. You had a gorgeous 15-year-old black girl shot in the back of the head because someone thought she stole a $2 bottle of orange juice when she had the money in her hand to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a...
I know this is probably... We're off topic still. But
in further evidence of OJ being disconnected with the African American community, as he was driven away and he saw the crowds, which many of whom were African Americans, cheering him on, OJ said, quote, "What are all these blanks doing in Brentwood?"
And by blanks, we mean racial slurs. So
yeah.
See OJ's state of mind.
On June 20th, 1994, OJ was arraigned and pled not guilty to both murders. And the following day, a grand jury was held to further the indictments. But on June 23rd, the grand jury was dismissed due to excessive media coverage, and they thought that it could jeopardize the neutrality of the process. So this is where we get back to what you were saying, Dave, about the Bronco being gone, the limo driver seeing it.
Right. Yeah.
So during the grand jury, this woman named Jill Shively, she was a Brentwood resident, testified that she saw OJ speeding away from the area of Nicole's house on the night of the murders and told the grand jury that the Bronco had almost collided with a Nissan at the intersection of Bundy and San Vicente Boulevard. Another grand jury witness, a cutlery salesman named Jose Camacho, said that he sold OJ a 15-inch German-made knife that was similar to the murder, or what they suspected, because they never found the murder weapon, but would be similar to something that could cause the injuries that Nicole and Ron had. He sold this to him 3 weeks before the killing. The prosecution, they weren't able to use this evidence against OJ because both of these witnesses sold their stories to the media. Joel Shively talked to Hard Copy on TV for $5,000, and Camacho sold his story to the National Enquirer for $12,500. The Jose guy, whatever, but Joel Shively's testimony is huge.
Yeah.
And to not be able to use that because she sold her story.
The prosecutors were big on her testimony until that happened.
Yeah.
Did the prosecutors not tell her, like after they spoke with her, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut about this?
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid.
She made $5,000 though.
Prosecutor Marsha Clark said there's an interview with her talking about that, and she's like, she was a solid witness, and we had talked and told her, you can't talk to anybody, and then all of a sudden, boom, she's on TV talking about
Hard Copy.
Talking about what she saw.
Was that when Bill O'Reilly was on Hard Copy? Was he on Hard Copy? We'll do it live.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah, I think so.
Inside Edition.
Inside.
Is that what Bill O'Reilly? I only know him from the O'Reilly Factor.
Yeah, that was
the no spin.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I love that video.
Fuck it, I'll read it. We'll do it live.
Fucking thing sucks.
If you can take that clip of Dave and I doing that in sync and auto tune it, that would be fantastic. Look at our bars.
Since the grand jury failed, a probable cause hearing was held on whether or not to bring OJ to trial. And on July 7th, 1994, it was determined that there was enough evidence to take the case to trial. OJ was arraigned a second time on July 22nd, where he pled, quote, absolutely 100% not guilty.
So how does that work? I thought the Fifth Amendment says you have to be indicted by a grand jury. How do you dismiss a grand jury? Like, I don't know that process.
I don't
know. I don't.
I guess you can do a probable cause hearing. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay.
So the prosecution decided not to seek the death penalty because historically, death penalty cases are tough for juries to rule on, and since he was such a beloved celebrity, it would be hard to put him to death. I mean, that's kind of what happened in Casey Anthony's case.
You mean because she was smoking hot?
Because they went for the death penalty.
And she was innocent?
I didn't know they went for the death penalty on that. She was not innocent.
They went too hard on that. That's one of the big criticisms was that they went for death. In October of 94, Judge Lance Ito started interviewing 304 potential jurors, and on November 3rd, 12 jurors were selected, or 12 jurors and 12 alternates were seated. The jury ended up being 9 African American members, 2 white, and 1 Hispanic, with the majority being African American women. The prosecution was concerned about the jury because polling and with the questionnaire showed that the African American women members held resentment due to the fact that OJ was married to a white woman, but the resentment wasn't towards OJ, it was towards Nicole. And they also did not have sympathy for the domestic violence aspect of the evidence.
Yeah, like there was a whole thing with the
That's
jury
interesting.
consultant that the prosecution had, and they differed, and the jury consultant told them, you don't want African American women on this jury, and Marcia Clark disagreed, and
Yeah, she said no. I relate with them. I've had good experiences with African American women on juries before.
But she was looking at herself. She wasn't looking at the actual case and how they were polling then, right?
Yeah, well, it was
Because if the polling is based off what you just told us, why would you it seems like African American women are exactly what you don't want.
Well, it was getting to the point, though, with people where I know Marcia Clark said that after a certain point, she was like, I need to quit while I'm ahead, and just agreed to some of the jurors because she said she was going through the list and it was just getting worse for her as far as favorable jurors were concerned. But I mean, on there's an interview with one of the jurors that was an African American woman, and she straight out says, I have no respect for a woman that stays in a situation like that. I don't care about it at all.
She was one of the jurors? Mm-hmm. Jeez.
So, and they said, too, that as soon as they put forth that domestic violence evidence and it went right over the jury's head, they were like, we're done. We know this is going to be an uphill battle now.
Yeah.
If they don't care about the fact that there's a history of domestic violence, then how are we supposed to lay this out?
That would be that's the major part of this case.
Yeah.
The domestic violence and his alleged multiple threats to kill her.
Yeah.
I personally do not think most people are smart enough to sit on a jury, and I would always choose a judge trial over
I
a
agree
jury
with you.
trial.
You're
I
taking-
think most people are imbeciles, and they don't know how to think logically about evidence and reasonable doubt and any of that. So I would always
I think
choose
people
a
also
judge.
could get too emotional too. And if you're a good attorney and can play to their emotions, then I think they will forget evidence quicker and then just go to their emotions and vote that.
I just think most people aren't very bright, and I don't think most people are qualified to sit on a jury.
I mean, any person can.
Yeah, and the people that end up on a jury are the people who aren't smart enough to get out of jury duty. I mean, let's be honest. So I would always choose a judge.
I like jury duty. I only got to
I would
do
like
one
it too,
time.
but
Yeah,
most people are not smart.
I only got to go on jury duty one time, and I didn't get to do anything fun. I would love to be like actually selected.
Yeah, no, I would not trust that.
Absolutely not.
No. There's that guy bringing up Casey Anthony again. There's that young guy that got selected for that case and then just immediately turned around and went out and spoke to the media. And then they brought him in and held him in contempt of court. And the judge was like, did you do this to get out of jury, dude? And he was like, yep, 100%.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be part of this. Nope. He immediately got himself thrown in contempt of court.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is, whether it's, professional juries or something where you actually do IQ tests on who's going to sit on a jury, but
So with the trial date of January 24th approaching, details about the prosecution's star witness being a racist started to come out, which was Mark Furman. He was the police officer who found the glove. He was exposed by the media for previously using racial slurs, and more would come out later, but initially it was found out that Mark had sued the police pension department to be able to quit the force and still receive his pension due to a growing hatred of African Americans and Hispanics, which he claimed was because of the violent nature of being a police officer.
Oh. So you made me a racist asshole, so I want to retire and get my pension.
The guy that wrote the book,
Tubin.
Yeah, he's the one that found this out.
Okay.
He said that his law professor, Dershowitz, he called him and said, this case seems like it's pretty strong against OJ. And Dershowitz said, I don't know, you got to look at this cop, this Mark Furman. So he started digging. He said he was looking for where he was the defendant, like someone was suing him or he was in trouble for something. Right. And that's when he found that Furman was actually suing the police pension thing to get his pension and be able to quit. And those documents are littered with some racial slurs that are very rough. Now with the issue of race coming into the case, famous civil rights lawyer Johnny Cochran was hired on and became OJ's main attorney, which completed what the media called OJ's dream team. And
wasn't this the same time as the actual like NBA dream team? Wasn't this around like wasn't that like the 94 Olympics?
Was it? That sounds right.
Yeah. It was like the 94 Olympics when like it was like
Jordan, Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Wasn't even Magic Johnson was done by then, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Yeah, he was done in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah, but it was the NBA or the basketball dream team, and now you got this dream team.
And
I think Magic played past the 80s.
Did he? I thought he got it was like
92.
89.
All right, I'm going right now to Google and we're gonna look up the dream team.
Well, while you're doing that, side note, it was estimated at $50,000 a day for OJ's defense team.
And it was like 8 or 9 months or even more for the trial.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So the dream team was the 92 Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Olympics.
When did Magic retire?
Oh, Larry Bird was a part of it.
Oh, there you go.
Damn.
David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Magic fucking Johnson.
Was he on it? All right.
And I skipped a few names that I didn't know, but like Clyde Drexler, Christian Leitner.
Leitner, yeah.
That's it.
That's a hell of a basketball
That's
team.
and Chris Mullen. That's a fucking dream team, man.
Yeah. On Johnny Cochran, too. I mean, he was like, from watching that documentary and listening to people talk about him, like, he was a hero in the black community, in the African American community.
Absolutely.
I mean, he went to bat aggressively for civil rights stuff, but I mean, he also did celebrity. He was very flashy. I mean, he defended
He was a showman.
Yeah, he defended Michael Jackson in his first child molestation.
I think we have 78 pages of notes on that one, Ian.
Yeah, Johnny did that one too. So I mean, he was all over the place. But so their theory was that because Mark Furman was an obvious racist, that he was super pissed that OJ was married to a white woman and planted the glove at Rockingham to frame OJ. And the defense also put forth the idea that OJ couldn't have committed the murders because of his bad knees and arthritis, because like we said earlier, that Ron Goldman was a black belt in karate and was about 20 years younger than OJ.
I mean, it's a smart defense. What else are you going to say? I mean, the amount of evidence is astounding in this case.
Yeah.
So you have to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no...
That's it.
The thing about this is they never put forth...
A defense.
An actual...
They just broke down the evidence and they poked holes in the prosecution.
Right, but usually you would have to put forth someone else that committed the murder in a murder trial. You generally have to blame somebody else for it. There was no other theory. I don't know enough
about the trials for that. I would just think that you would have to give the jury doubt. So poke holes as much as you could in the evidence and just say, well, look, there's this and there's this, and just give them that reasonable doubt to vote.
I mean, the amount of blood and DNA evidence in this case is it's 100 times any other case. There's just tons of it.
I think we're going to get into that in just here a second.
So let's just go over everything that was provided to the jury. So the DNA analysis of the blood discovered on a pair of O.J. Simpson socks these were found in his bedroom. The DNA on those were identified as Nicole's. The blood had DNA characteristics matched by approximately only 1 in 9.7 billion, with odds falling to 1 out of 21 billion when compiling the results of the test done. And they did these at 2 separate DNA labs. And that's the thing about the IQ thing with the jurors that we were talking about earlier, because they didn't understand DNA. They just didn't get it.
And it was new.
This was the first. This was the first time it was done, right?
And when I was talking about IQs, I just mean in general. I think most people just aren't smart enough to absorb details. I don't mean this jury in particular.
Right. No. Yeah.
Just overall, I think there's a case to be made for professional juries where.
Well, shouldn't the prosecution have done a better job then of explaining the significance of this? Like you would think then that Did they do a good job and the jury just still didn't get it?
I just think there was a lot more play here.
There's a lot.
They had reams and
bigger.
reams of all the evidence, and I don't think they were ever going to convict him.
But that's just one of the criticisms that the prosecution brings up, is that they just didn't get it.
And I don't think that's necessarily an IQ thing. It's just it was new evidence,
right?
New types of
So both socks had about 20 stains of blood on them, and the blood made a similar pattern on both sides of the socks. And there's a defense medical expert, Dr. Henry Lee of the Connecticut State Police Forensic Science Laboratory, testified that the only way that such a pattern would appear is that if Simpson had a, quote, hole in his ankle or a drop of blood was placed on the sock while it was being worn.
Not being worn,
sorry. Lee also testified that the collection procedure of the socks could have caused contamination, which we're going to get into that. There's a lot of fuck-ups with
it was a sloppy
evidence.
investigation.
It was very sloppy.
The DNA analysis of blood found in, on, and near Simpson's Bronco revealed traces of OJ's, Nicole's, and Ron's blood all mixed together. Like we said earlier, there were strands of hair. There was 25 strands of hair, of Nicole's hair, that were found on Ron's shirt, which they suspected was from OJ grabbing the back of her head, and then Ron's shirt. There were several coins found along with fresh blood drops behind Nicole's condo in the area where the cars were parked that also matched their blood. DNA analysis of blood on the left-hand glove found outside Nicole's home showed it was a mixture of OJ's, Nicole's, and Ron's blood. Although the glove was soaked in blood, there were no blood drops leading up to or away from the glove, and no other blood was found in the area of the glove except on the glove. The gloves contained particles of hair consistent with Ron's, and a hat contained carpet fibers consistent with fibers from OJ's Bronco. The black knit cap at the crime scene also contained strands of African American hair that were linked to OJ. Several strands of dark blue cotton fibers were found on Ron, and the prosecution presented a witness who said that OJ wore a similarly colored sweatsuit that night. The left-hand glove found at Nicole's home and the right-hand glove found at OJ's home were an exact match. They presented the domestic violence stuff from the 89 incident and the photos that she had in her safety deposit box with pictures of the beatings and stuff. There were bloody shoe prints at the crime scene that basically just led. The blood evidence with this is ridiculous. Like if you look at it, like the layout, like it basically just leads.
It's a trail. It's an overwhelming amount of evidence.
Right back to his house. But there's bloody shoe prints at the crime scene that were identified by FBI shoe expert William Bodzak as having been made by a pair of extremely rare and expensive Bruno Molly shoes.
Oh, bougie ass Dave over there knows what the hell that is.
Just watch the fucking FX thing. Bruno Molly.
No, you got a pair of Bruno Mollies in your closet, don't you?
So there were only 29 pairs of this style shoe that were sold in the U.S. and the large size 12 matched O.J. Simpson's shoe size. In trial, O.J.'s defense attorney said that the prosecution had no proof that he had ever bought these shoes. And there were no witnesses who testified to selling O.J. the shoes, and there wasn't any receipts recovered that indicated that he had actually bought them. But a freelance photographer named E.J. Flammer claimed to have found a photograph he had taken of O.J. in 1993 that appeared to show him wearing these shoes at a public event, which was later published in the National Enquirer. O.J.'s defense team claimed that the photograph was doctored, but other pre-1994 photos appear to show O.J. wearing these shoes that were later discovered and published after the trial was concluded. O.J.'s DNA expert, Barry Schecht, conducted an 8-day cross-examination of the criminalists. Evidence collected by the LAPD criminalist Dennis Fung was criticized by the defense. He admitted to have, quote, missed a few drops of blood on the fence near the bodies on the stand, and he said that he, quote, returned several weeks later afterwards to collect them. Fung admitted that he had not used rubber gloves when collecting some of the evidence, but the blood tested had no DNA from Fung within published guidelines. So, I mean, his DNA wasn't there.
Yeah.
But he still didn't use gloves.
Right.
And he admitted to missing some drops of blood and then going back to take pictures of them. So Detective Van Air testified he saw photographs of press personnel leaning on OJ's Bronco before evidence was collected. LAPD scientist Andrea Mazzola, who collected blood samples from OJ to compare with evidence at the crime scene, she was a trainee who carried a vial of OJ's blood around in her lab coat pocket for nearly a week before handing it over as an exhibit. Detectives at the crime scene also placed a blanket over Nicole's body that came from inside her house that Barry Schecht argued could have transferred physical evidence of OJ to her body at the crime scene.
So there's overwhelming evidence, but there's also a lot of mistakes and a lot of chain of custody issues here that open them up to criticism of the whole process.
Barry Schecht destroyed that Dennis Fung guy.
Oh, 100%.
He put that dude through the ringer.
Yep.
And rightfully so, to be honest. I mean, to not wear used gloves is ridiculous.
They have a trainee holding blood overnight. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yep. That kind of shows about the blood being planted. If you're holding a vial of his blood, there's no, in the timeline, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because they didn't have his blood yet.
Right.
But
it plants reasonable doubt.
But yeah, I mean, it makes you think like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense, you know.
If they can't be trusted to perform this process, you know, the right way.
Right. The defense is doing their job
absolutely
perfectly.
Yeah.
They're kicking the prosecution's ass.
Yeah.
You can't be sloppy in things like this.
No.
So next we're going to get into the police officer, Mark Furman, and maybe a bit of his not great background and how that helped the defense.
Right.
All right, we'll be right back.
We like to drink beer, a lot of it. After a long night of drinking and talking crime and conspiracies, there's nothing that wakes us up and gets us ready to start the day better than Just Brew coffee. With a great selection of roast levels to choose from, you're guaranteed to find one that suits your style. Small batch roasted to highlight the unique features of each coffee bean, Just Brew coffee caters to both casual and hardcore coffee drinkers alike. Since 2010, Just Brew Coffee has worked tirelessly to perfect the roasting process and technique, which has resulted in seriously delicious, always flavorful, and never bitter tasting coffee. If you're already drinking JBC, raise your mug. If you're not, raise your standards. Check them out in social media and remember, they roast, you just brew.
Check out their new online store at youjustbrew.com and up your coffee game today. Use code NECRO15 to receive 15% off your order of 2 pounds or more.
Mark Furman, the police officer that found the glove at OJ's house.
He's the one that jumped the fence.
Right.
Because they had reasonable cause.
He gave his testimony on whatever, on what he had found. And then he was cross-examined by F. Lee Bailey, which has got to be the worst position to be in, to be cross-examined by that guy.
Right.
Brutal. But so they knew behind the scenes that the lawsuit existed of Furman saying the N-word and saying other racist stuff. So F. Lee Bailey cornered him and just flat out asked him if he used the N-word to describe African Americans in the past 10 years. And at that point, it's like, if he says yeah,
right,
he's an admitted racist
he looks
in
like
front
a
of
piece
the
of
whole
shit.
world.
Yeah.
And if he says no, well, they got you.
him.
They got you by the balls.
Yeah. So he said no. And then a few months later, the defense played audio tapes of Furman repeatedly using the word 41 times in total. And these tapes had been made between 1985 and 1994 by a young screenwriter named Laura McKinley. She interviewed Mark Furman for a screenplay that she was writing on police officers. And that's what he tries to claim, like he was just acting. But it's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah,
You're
right.
a police officer. You're not an actor.
Right.
You're an actual police officer that has the ability to put people in jail and you're talking like that. Yeah. And I mean, it's really ugly
terrible
stuff, what he's saying. But
well, and this is big for the defense. I mean, now you've painted one of the lead cops on this as a huge racist.
Yeah,
I think
and that's big.
It's the death blow.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, this is huge because now you're planting legitimate doubt. Did this guy have an agenda?
Right.
Yep.
Well, and this and now we get to Chris Darden, who was part of the prosecution. He's an African American lawyer, and he just got a tough break with this whole situation. And he was brought on right at the time Johnny Cochran was, and it was basically because he was African American, and the prosecution wanted to show that. And then one of the jurors in an interview said, like, we saw it as soon as he walked in the courtroom. All of a sudden, they had a black guy on with them. They were like, we knew why he was there. Like, we're not stupid.
Which is completely unfair.
Yeah, because he's not a bad lawyer.
Yeah.
He just was stuck in a shitty situation. And the other thing too is,
but even if that wasn't the case, it would look like it's the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it just,
even if he was the best DA that they had, the best assistant DA that they had, it's still going to look like that. Just that's the perception, which is just not fair.
Yeah. And the thing is too is he was, before this, he worked for the SID, right, department, which was
internal affairs, right?
And was investigating police using excessive force and stuff against minorities. And I mean, there's interviews of him on TV, him grilling the police, talking about, like, there's one for a case where he's like, the police lied, everybody knows they lied, like he was, just got stuck in a shitty spot here. But so he, with these tapes, Chris Darden argued that word would completely cloud the jury's judgment, that as soon as they heard that word,
talking about the N word,
right, they would not think clearly about the evidence anymore. And then Johnny Cochran just completely embarrassed him and grilled him on it, that it was offensive to think that African Americans can't handle hearing that word without, and I can see,
which is not necessarily what that guy said,
right?
But Johnny Cochran's fucking master at this and knows how to play it and swing it.
He was a master, that dude.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
And if you watch the video from the trial of him doing it, man, he's like, this is a sad day for African Americans. I'm so embarrassed that I even have to stand here and
he smoked them for sure.
He killed Chris Darden. And the thing is him and Chris Darden were friends before this.
What happened to Chris Darden after this?
I think he's just disappeared.
He started his own law firm.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he resigned after this trial and started his own law firm.
But he was, Chris Darden was up and coming too, and a lot of people thought that he would end up working for Johnny Cochran eventually.
And they split paths here.
Yeah. And all this was going on, these tapes, while the jury wasn't present for any of this stuff. With the jury absent, Furman was called back to the witness stand by the defense to answer more questions about discovery of blood marks and the leather glove that he found.
So what good does that do if the jury's not there? What's the point?
Because they were.
Is it like a separate hearing to debate whether they're going to play the tapes?
Yeah, I guess I should have said it. So they, I didn't include that in the outline. So there was a separate hearing on to include the tapes. All
right, that makes sense.
What could be included, things like that. Because then the judge, Lancito, his wife is
a cop,
is a police officer
who was a boss of Furman, right?
Right.
Yeah. And she didn't disclose it.
Yeah, and Furman says some shit about her on the tapes. So
that's right. That's what it was.
So then it looks like then Lancito could be taking, what do I want to say?
Taking sides.
Could be biased.
Right, because his wife is now getting shit on by Mark Furman in these tapes.
There was a lot of these side things that took place in this trial that were just crazy. It just all adds up to...
There's so much shit with all of this.
Exactly.
I know, that's why I mean this
is wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean that new...
So wait, explain that again real quick, because we kind of just brushed over that.
Yeah.
Judge Ito's wife was a police officer.
That was the boss of Mark Furman.
So when Ito got assigned the case, his wife had to sign off on a conflict of interest form.
Yeah, and she lied.
And she didn't, like, Mark Furman was on that form, and she didn't indicate that she had had prior interactions with him.
Okay.
So her husband could get the case.
Right. Because she knew it would make, hopefully make his career or uplift his career.
Yeah. Well, but we're assuming that, though. Like, we don't know that for sure. But yeah.
Sure. But
right. So then Furman starts shitting on her?
In the tapes. I can't remember exactly what he says.
Yeah.
Something about my boss such and such.
Yeah.
And so that might have pissed the judge off, which now he's looking down against Mark Furman.
Well, he has to decide whether they can play these tapes in open court, and the thought is this is going to sway his decision because his wife's being
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
So I believe that another judge had to weigh in on this and decide whether he was able to preside over this hearing. Like, it's really complicated.
Yeah, they brought in another judge.
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted to clear it up, because that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that other judge then okayed it.
Okayed for him to still rule in this capacity on this motion to suppress these tapes. Yeah.
So then Ito comes back in and decides that only was it 2 sentences out of the hours worth of tape was relevant to hear, and Johnny Cochran was pissed.
Let me guess, none of those involved his wife.
No. Oh, no. It was 2 sentences where Mark Furman says the N-word, and the rest of the world heard this because this was televised. Mm-hmm. So everybody in the world heard this hearing that happened about these tapes when they were played in full.
Yeah.
The rest of the world heard it. The jury didn't hear it.
How the fuck how is that?
Well, because it's a side hearing to determine what you can say in open court. So the jury.
So why is that public?
Because the whole case was televised and the jury was sequestered.
How is that okay?
The jury was sequestered.
Yeah, I mean, the jury's sitting in a hotel room without a TV or anything.
No, I understand how they could do it.
Yeah.
How is that okay? Like, if this is going to be a hearing as to what can be actually offered up in court, that should be closed off from everybody.
But I think this goes back to the fact that the LAPD was in such a...
Does that still happen today?
In a televised court?
Well, like that there's stuff that the jury's hidden from that the rest of us will know?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So they're taking the jury's cell phones away. They're not getting on Twitter. They're not getting on Instagram.
Oh, no, they couldn't. They took the TVs out of their hotel rooms. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah. They were completely... They weren't allowed talking to each other.
For like a year.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
that just
being jury?
Seems really weird to me. Like, you're going to hide stuff from the jury, but you're going to let the entire world know that here's what we're... Like, that defeats the whole purpose, I think, of a hearing.
Well, the thought process...
trial.
Well, it was because of Rodney King and what was her last name? Harlington? Latasha Harlington.
Yeah.
They wanted the world to be able to see how this court process worked and that this could be fair. And to see that it wasn't... I just think
maybe that's something you release after the fact, like a documentary or something.
It was
you don't
all
release it live, because now you're literally showing how maybe guilty a man is, and yet the jury is going to vote innocent because none of this is presented to them. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It shows all the flaws in your court system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when these tapes were played to the rest of the world, I mean, it caused... I mean, people were protesting.
Because some of the stuff they didn't play was about Furman talking about planting evidence, which is the part that the defense wanted to play in open court.
Right. On the tapes, he talks about planning evidence.
I thought you guys just said this was all played in court.
Just 2 sentences out of the whole thing.
To the jury. The defense wanted...
But the actual tapes were played in full to the public.
In a separate hearing to determine if they could be played in front of the jury.
So everyone heard the legitimate tapes.
Right.
Right.
But the jury heard 2 sentences.
That's correct.
And that's what pissed Cochran off. He wanted them to hear all of it.
Right, because Furman was talking about planting evidence, and that was like,
so
if we can get that played for the jury.
The whole world knew Furman was a piece of shit, except those 12 jurors.
Well, they knew he was a piece of shit just based off the 2 sentences. I mean...
Yeah.
Okay.
When Furman was questioned by Gerald Ullman, he had his lawyer sitting next to him, and he invoked the Fifth Amendment to avoid self-incrimination and any further questioning about this whole situation. And the defense cornered him by finishing up the questioning because they didn't get him saying that he planted evidence in court, but they cornered him by asking him if he had ever planted evidence at a crime. And then he pleads the fifth to it. And that looks like shit.
Yeah.
But he has to, because if you answer one question, you got to answer them all then. You can't plead the fifth and then go back on it. So they really, $50K a day was...
yeah, they got him. They took him
paying
down.
off, man. So then we get to the most infamous part of this case. On June 15th, 1995, F. Lee Bailey goaded Chris Darden into asking OJ to put on the leather glove that was found at the crime scene. The defense knew that this was like an issue kind of going like, are we going to do it or are we not? And they knew that Chris Darden wanted to do it. So F. Lee Bailey leaned over to him during like a recess or whatever and told Chris Darden that he said, you have the balls of a field mouse. If you don't have him try on the glove, I will.
Yep.
And Chris Darden was in a position where he was pissed, man. He wanted to outshine this thing, and he was getting
what a stupid thing to fall for.
Well,
like
because Marsha Clark told him, we're not doing this. Forget about it.
Yeah, she said no way.
And if the competition's egging you on to do it, that's your first fucking hint. Don't do it. Yeah. They have something up their sleeve.
But by this point, he had been thrown through the ringer so much through this case.
He was looking for a win.
By Johnny Cochran grilling him, and So when F. Lee Bailey goes, you got the balls of a field mouse, you won't do it. And he had wanted to do it. He thought this was going to be his big thing,
right?
So, and like you said, Marsha Clark said, no way, we're not doing it, because it had been soaked in blood and frozen and unfrozen multiple times. It was bound to shrink.
Yeah, of course.
And plus, to try it on, OJ would have to wear latex gloves underneath to preserve evidence. So obviously they did not fit. Johnny Cochran's legal partner that was on the case with him, said that it was like OJ went into to naked gun mode as soon as he realized that it didn't fit. Like, he got up and started like really acting it out.
Right.
And
I remember that
putting
part.
on a show.
He's just like holding his hand
so
up,
this
looking
you
at
watched?
the jury. I remember this part.
Watched?
Yeah.
Well, this is like the biggest.
He just shrugs like to the jury. I don't know. I can't put it on.
He walks right up to him, and
and
you can tell he's faking part of it. Like he's
gimmicking it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for Chris Darden in that part, because he keeps saying like, did he put those on in a way that you would suspect think someone would put on the gloves? Like, he's trying to make up for this obvious, just brutal disaster. But in May 2008, Mike Gilbert, who was OJ's manager, who we were talking about earlier with the whole Marcus Allen stuff, he released a book called How I Helped OJ Get Away with Murder. And he said that the gloves didn't fit because, on his advice, he told OJ to stop taking his arthritis medicine, which made his hand swell.
Smart.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yep. That's why I said that guy, I don't think he has any reason to lie about Marcus Allen, because he's admitted to telling OJ to stop taking his medicine so the glove won't fit.
Pretty smart.
So in closing arguments, Chris Darden, he shot down the idea that the police officers would have wanted to frame OJ, and he questioned that, and it makes sense. Why would they want to frame him, or why would they be against him when they went to his house on 8 separate domestic violence calls and never did anything, never arrested him, never questioned anything that he was doing? I mean, they were all buddy-buddy with him. And then he also brought up the fact that they didn't arrest him for 5 days after he was a murder suspect, So, I mean, he was getting special treatment.
But the size of the conspiracy and the people that would have to be involved to pull this off based on the blood evidence is just nuts.
And even the glove, because Mark Fuhrman wasn't the first one there.
Yeah.
To see the first glove.
It's just not possible.
Right.
But the prosecution didn't do a great job with proving it. I mean, the defense kicked their ass, it seems like.
They did.
Like, this should have been an easy case.
There's an overwhelming amount of evidence.
And they could not do it. They couldn't do it.
They made some mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a lot of mistakes made in this. So Johnny Cochran, in his closing arguments, he emphasized that Mark Fuhrman was proven to repeatedly refer to African Americans as the N-word, and also had bragged of beating young African Americans in his role as a police officer. Johnny also said the famous phrase, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit," and it's a powerful thing for the jury with that whole glove. I mean, it was made into such a thing with OJ trying them on.
Yeah.
And with Johnny leaning over, showing the glove, saying, he said it like, what, 3 times?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times. You got to remember that.
Yep. Yeah, that was, if you
Do you remember what he said in the show when he was wordsmithing his summation? He had something first before, and then he like worked into this one.
Yeah.
Like if the evidence is no good, I can't remember
something
what it was,
silly.
but it was good.
Yeah, because he's walking around saying it for his wife.
They showed him working into the final line. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but man, him going right up to the jury and saying it over and over
Perfect.
again, and then saying, if you remember anything from this case,
Yeah.
if it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Genius.
Yep. Johnny's rhetoric was criticized by Robert Shapiro afterwards, and at least one of the jurors, Ron Goldman's father, Fred Goldman, is really outspoken about it. With Johnny, he called Mark Furman, quote, a genocidal racist, a perjurer, America's worst nightmare, and the personification of evil. And he also compared him to Hitler during it. It was a little aggressive.
It was, but those tapes were pretty vile.
They are very
I don't
vile.
know. A little over the top, but not inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a closing statement, though.
He smoked them.
Yeah. At 10:07 a.m. on October 3rd, 1995, O.J. was acquitted on both counts of murder. The only testimony reviewed was that of the limo driver, Alan Park, who said that he did not see O.J.'s Bronco outside of his estate when he arrived to pick him up after the murders occurred. The jury arrived at their verdict by 3 p.m. on October 2nd after only deliberating for 4 hours.
I mean, a 9-month trial and 4 hours of deliberation.
What'd they say?
That's clearly an ass whooping by the defense.
Yeah, and they clearly were decided already.
Yeah. What was I can't remember what the stat was. It was like 1 day for so many hours of testimony. Can't remember what the average was, but that's what they were talking about. And then they said all of a sudden they got phone calls. It was Johnny's partner was talking about it. He was like, Johnny had this vacation set up to go to like a wine place with his wife, and all of a sudden they get a phone call 4 hours later. But so before the verdict, Bill Clinton was briefed on security measures if rioting occurred nationwide. There's an estimated 100 million people worldwide watched and listened to the verdict.
Now this I do remember listening to live.
These are crazy stats too. Long distance telephone call volume decreased by 58%. Trading volume on the New York Stock Exchange decreased by 41%. Water usage decreased as people avoiding using bathrooms. And so much work stopped during the verdict that it cost an estimated $480 million in lost productivity.
I believe it.
God damn.
That's crazy.
See,
I remember. I believe it.
I feel like I remember listening, but I think I've just made up so many memories in my head that I didn't actually listen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I would have been, 9 years old here?
Yeah.
It's interesting that Bill Clinton was advised and prepared
after Rodney
for security.
King, the whole city
Well,
burned.
sure.
Half the city burned down.
You got to wonder what would have happened had it come back guilty. Like what might have happened after that.
The LA riots got real ugly.
Yeah, extremely.
I don't know. Like I said in the beginning, I find this one fascinating just from the end of, or the starting of ratings or everything for the news to what you can get away with as a celebrity, the social implications of this, just the whole story is wild.
Look, when you've lived with decades of the LAPD attacking your community, I get it.
And
I completely get this, that they...
Well, and then you got this poor woman, Nicole Brown, who got into a relationship where she was treated terribly. She most likely was beat up, got the shit kicked out of her, and then she got killed one way or another. Justice has not been served. And that's
true.
It makes... I don't know. It's terrible.
I can totally see what you were talking about with the LAPD and things. I mean, the video of Rodney King is absolutely ridiculous. It's
brutal.
But this Johnny Cochran turned this into something that was way bigger than OJ, Nicole Brown, the whole thing.
That's what he needed to do in this scenario, though.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem. And we completely skipped over it, but when they took the jury to go visit the crime scene, the defense talked them into that they had to go see OJ's house too. And Marcia Clark's like, well, no, but if they do, the only thing that they need to see is where the glove was found. And Lancito allowed them to go into OJ's house, and OJ's house was just filled of either pictures of just him, like his own memorabilia, or him with pictures of white people. And so they took it all down and put up pictures of African American people.
Yeah.
And took a picture from Johnny Cochran's office, the one civil rights painting, and hung it up right above the thing.
Smart.
It's brilliantly done. Like, I mean, you hate to use those thoughts with something like this, but it's genius by Johnny Cochran.
Absolutely.
I mean,
that's what you're paying him to do.
Allegedly, he's getting a murderer off, getting him off.
Well,
allegedly.
Yeah. And it's up to Lancito, the judge, to stop that shit.
Right.
He should have been like, no, you don't need to go in the house.
Right,
Or he
for what purpose?
Yeah. Or he could have looked at he saw the crime scene photos and everything. Look at the before and after. I'm like, wait a second, this house is
weird.
completely different now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
a hell of a story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, so then what happened with OJ ever since?
So OJ went on to, in 2006, signed on to do a video called, it was just a video called Juiced with the fine creator of Bum Fights.
Upstanding humanitarian.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be like a candid camera thing where like something, I know there was like one where they're hitting the air horn while people are golfing.
So it's like Punked.
Yeah.
Except
and then
juiced.
when OJ is like, oh, you got juiced. It's super awkward and just not funny at all.
It's ridiculous.
But there's also a rap video that OJ put out as part of that. There's a lot of strippers. OJ's wearing some ridiculous outfits.
Well, then he wrote the book, If I Did It.
Yep.
Which was kind of like a pseudo admission, I guess. There's an interview out there with
you're
the publisher.
assuming, Dave. You're assuming.
I'm assuming, but
Well,
I mean, he describes how
he would
he
have
allegedly
done it.
would have conducted these
Yeah.
murders if he had done it. But there's an interview with that Judith Regan, who published the book, I believe, conducted with him. It's very strange.
Well, so
just him going
what's
through.
stopping him from admitting it at this point? No, he can't be tried
nothing
again.
really.
Well, the thing too with the If I Did It book was that he was later Ron Goldman's family and Nicole Brown's family filed civil suit against him,
Right.
And he was found in the civil suit that he was held responsible for their murders,
Right.
in the civil suit.
So they just want some cash. Or
Well,
whatever.
he was going to put out that book, and then Ron Goldman's, they got the rights to the book and put it out, and it said, if I did it, but the if was real tiny, and then it's like, I did it. Plastered on the front of the book.
Well, and then OJ ultimately went to jail for a long time in Nevada for those robberies and the sports memorabilia robberies in Vegas.
Because he sold all his stuff. I think in the civil suit, he was found to owe them $36 million altogether. And so
Plus all those
right.
legal fees from his murder trial.
Well, and you know what? The interesting thing too, the other part about what he was doing in jail is that it was determined that part of his income was autographs, and so innocent before proven guilty, whatever. There was a buddy of his that was his manager, and then another sports memorabilia guy. They were bringing in just flat pieces of football leather and just the numbers from jerseys, and he was signing them while he was in jail, just signing away. They said the sports memorabilia guy said that he made about $3 million while he was sitting in jail that whole time to pay for his defense. And they said that the Goldmans and Nicole Brown's family, they were flipping out, but it's all within reason.
Yeah, well,
as
you
far
can't
as
really
the
stop
law.
that, I guess.
I mean, but at some point, if you flood the market with all these signatures, it's got to tank the value at some point.
He's still making $3 million. I think he did all right.
And he was just paroled last year.
Yeah.
October.
Now he's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here today.
Yeah. 25th
Fucking
anniversary.
piggy banking that shit. Piggybacking, not piggy banking.
Yeah. And when he was sentenced for the robbery stuff, the judge, like right off the bat before sentencing him, she was like, "This is not retribution for your previous trial," which you're
Right.
like, that sounds like it's retribution.
Yeah, right. When you say that, yeah, it's not good.
Because he got a long time.
They threw the fucking book
Yeah.
at him for that. 33 years.
Yeah, that's
But I mean, he was paroled, but he was
still,
yeah.
it's a lot.
Damn.
Yeah.
What an interesting story, though.
That's OJ.
It really
This is a
is.
fascinating case.
It's not our typical kind, but
It's something different. I don't know.
it's just super fascinating.
What
I hope
constitutes a
peop-
serial killer? How many murders?
I think it's 4.
All right. So he's not a serial killer.
Well, he's not. He's at
Fireworks?
he's at 0, so he's not a serial killer at all.
You're right. Totally acquitted. You're right.
Yeah, but I don't know. This was a fun story. I enjoyed this. It was a longer one. We went in depth tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope
it's
people
crazy.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, I mean, and if anybody wants further, check out that OJ Made in America documentary. It's like
It's on Netflix now, right?
I don't know if that one is or not.
Is that not the FX one?
The FX one's portrayed by actors. This one's a documentary
Oh, okay. I'm
series.
sorry.
Yeah. The FX one's really good. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
watched it this week.
I have not. I'm going to watch
really
it now that we
entertaining.
did this show. I'm going to watch it after.
Yeah, it's good. But the OJ Made in America documentary series, it's 5 episodes, and they're each an hour and a half long. So, I mean, it really digs deep into the whole thing.
God damn. All right, Ian, you got anything else on OJ?
Nope.
Dave, you got anything else you want to add on the OJ?
No, sir.
Simpson
No, I don't.
case? All right, what shout outs we got tonight?
For iTunes, we have an updated one by T. Heath 74, an updated one by Mr. B Natural, and then J Rod 723, King John Frederick III, Mr. Sam Squatch, Spillingson, Freedom 0187, and Bjorn Nedjer, which Bjorn is the Swedish one, which
I
is,
wouldn't have guessed.
which is very cool.
Fucking Sweden, man. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
Hell yeah.
So thank you everybody for the reviews and tuning in every week.
Yeah, and keep them coming. Those reviews on iTunes are fucking awesome for us. Dave, what do you got?
So some shout outs on Instagram, Rob Knight, from Facebook, Brandy, really good axe murderer story tip that she provided us. So thanks a lot for that. We're going to look into that. And on Twitter, HKVP9X, thanks for that Zozo tip. I believe we forgot to credit you on our
She
Zozo
was the
story,
one.
but thank you for the Zozo tip.
Yeah, that was the one. We did this story per her request and didn't give her proper shout out.
Ridiculous story, but thank you nonetheless.
It was a fun story, at least. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Necronomipod. We are going to have shirts coming out in the near future, so stick around at some point for that in the coming weeks. And hit us up on iTunes or Apple Review. Like we said, those go a long way to help us out and get us noticed. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll check you guys next week.
Are you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.
Let's go.